Namaste, beautiful friends, beautiful souls. So I invite you today to begin our session in Makrasana, also known as crocodile pose. So we lie down on our front, we hold on to opposite elbows like this, so your elbows are underneath your shoulders. And you're going to take your legs a little bit wider than mat width. And if you can, if it doesn't cause discomfort, I should say, not rather if you can, if it doesn't cause discomfort, turn your feet outwards so they're pointing out away from you. So make sure there's no strain on the knees, just to kind of relax around the front of the hips a little bit more. If there is, if it does feel like it's kind of pulling on the knees or whatever, then just bring the feet flat. As I often say, don't just do it because you can, do it because it feels good. You know, things may be slightly uncomfortable, but you can still breathe through it. There's no point doing something just because you can if it's going to cause issues. So we're holding onto opposite elbows, and the elbows are underneath the shoulders. So it's a very, very subtle back bend. And remember, back bends are about opening and stretching the front of the body. So I tend to prefer to call them heart openers. Because I think if you think of the word back bend, you tend to think of bending backwards, whereas heart opener, you think of opening the front of the heart. So if you imagine the front of my body is kind of just getting a very gentle stretch. And then once you're in that position, you're just going to let your head relax. Now the head is often quite challenging to relax. I think it's because it's quite heavy and because we're used to holding it in place. So often we think we're relaxing it, but we're not. So I may lift my head up in order to speak, but you keep your head completely relaxed. Soften or close your eyes. I'm just going to start off by doing our best horse impression to relax the face a little bit more. So we're going to blow through the lips on the out breath. So take a nice deep breath in. And blow through the lips. Notice how that starts to relax the face. Just do that a couple more times. Inhale through the nose. Once more like that, feel the face and the head relaxing even more each time. And just staying here, noticing. So you want to make sure that elbows are snug, so they're not too wide. So you're literally kind of resting on your elbows, and your head gets heavier and heavier. So once you're in position, all you've got to do is focus on the breath and let go. And so it's quite a challenge to relax the head. We think we're relaxing, but often we're not. So today, just stay here, just breathe long, deep breaths in. You can breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, or out through the nose, whatever works for you. And maybe try breathing in for a count of 4 and out for a count of 6. And even if you run out of breath on the 6 count, keep going and just set the intention to slow it down next time. And after a while, you'll find you naturally manage that 6 count. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the world right now. I mean, these last 4 years have been just mental in terms of kind of spiritual, psychological warfare, etc. So many things that have caused arguments and division, and there's still things going on. And I don't know the answers, okay? I don't claim to know all the answers. But what I do know is that we are easily fooled because most of us are genuine, honest people. And so we tend to believe what we see. And I'm always encouraging people to ask questions and to feel rather than just take what you see or what you're told for granted. You know, feel into your body. And then also ask yourself, what energy do you want to send out into the world? You know, do you want to be the loving, peaceful energy that you want to see around you? Or do you want to tune into the anger and the division and the I am right and you are wrong stuff? Because that's a really low vibration and that's not a good place to be. So today I want us to focus on connecting with the energy of love and imagine sending that energy out into the world. So as you're breathing, say in for 4 counts, out for 6. Just bring to mind someone or something, it doesn't matter what, where, when, who you love, who you feel love for. Now, it could be someone who's not on the physical plane any longer, and that's okay, because love doesn't die, right? You know, you love someone Just because they're not here physically doesn't mean your love for them has disappeared. So whatever, whoever, whether it's your pets, you know, I often think of my animals, you know, when I think of love, just focus on the energy, the sensations of love. You can bring in a simple affirmation, which is, I shine the light of love with every breath I take. I shine the light of love with every breath I take. And feel your heart space melting down into the mat. Feel the back of your head relaxing even more, so you may almost be like, you know, nose onto your arms by now. That's okay. With that relaxation and opening around your hips. Because often as well, if we're a bit stuck in life and not sure which direction to go in, and that can be kind of a collective thing as well. You know, if you're not sure, you know, the way the world is going, that can show up as tension in your hips as well. I'm just taking a couple more breaths in. I shine the light of love wherever I go. After your next exhale, slowly lift your head and take your time, because you'll suddenly realize how far you've released. Undo your feet, bring them back in, and bring your hands either side of your ribs. We're going to bring ourselves up into a child's pose, so press up and back, sitting back into a wide leg child's pose. So take your knees as wide as you can and just kind of give a little jiggle side to side, wiggling your spine, wiggling around in the hips. And bringing your hands to the floor. If you can't quite touch the floor, you can bring your hands to blocks, or you can just rest your hands on your thighs. You're going to bring in some movement in the spine. Inhale, heart forward, exhale, round. Breathing in and breathing out. Going to close your eyes. Just breathe and imagine like a circular movement. So rather than a kind of up-down movement, imagine a circular movement, a circular breath and a circular movement. In other words, imagine the breath flowing straight from one end to the other. So no end and no beginning, and the same with the movement. And you can kind of make it a more creative movement. So no kind of hard and fast rules, just move in a way that feels good for you. So that might include some kind of side to side movement or a kind of circular movement. Just breathing in, breathing out. I radiate the light of love wherever I go. You can imagine the light of love, the energy of love pouring out of your heart space, your heart center. Bring a subtle smile to your face to relax your whole face. And then coming up to sitting, just bring your knees in for a moment and circle out your wrists. A nice deep breath in and out. If you need to, you can come up onto your knees. Circle the other way. So turn the other way, but circle the other way. Then bring the backs of the hands together. You can lightly clasp the fingers together and turning the hands through and around to stretch out the wrists. Full breath in, full breath out. And open out, clasp the hands behind you, squeeze the palms together, stretch the hands down away from the ears, and And then maybe lift the arms up a little bit to stretch and open the front of the chest. There, release, coming onto your hands and knees, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, and try and press into the whole hand. I'm just going to start off by drawing little circles around the wrists, so maybe really slow it down. So we're warming into those wrists, pressing into all 10 fingers, the backs of the knuckles, going around the other way. Full breath in, full breath out. Then change direction, start to make the movement bigger, so moving the whole body forward and back, and come around to the side. Then change again, full breath in, no pauses at the end of the breath. Again, thinking that kind of circular movement, no end, no beginning. Change direction, make it bigger still. So bringing your hips towards your hands, and then skimming your heels. You can bring the head into it a little bit, then changing direction, allowing the head to move naturally. So imagine like you're in water, just kind of floating around in water, finding that sense of freedom in movement. Then coming back to center, inhaling, lifting the tailbone. And exhaling, arching up. And you can shift the weight forward and back a little bit if that feels good to do so. Or you can just stay on one plane of movement. And really play around with it, explore it, try not to overthink it. It's when we overthink it, we start going, oh, I don't know if I'm doing it right, and blah, 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 my version doesn't look the same as theirs, and I'm doing it wrong, and la, 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 la. And just allow the breath to move you. Imagine you've got a pencil on your tailbone and draw a circle or a circular shape, as in round and round, again, no end and no beginning. And you can make it as big or as small, as fast or as slow as you like. And changing directions. Remember, it doesn't have to be a uniform shape. In other words, it doesn't have to be exactly the same. The other way, it might feel slightly different. Going around the other way. And coming back to center, sitting back onto the heels again. Opening the arms out, clasping the hands. However you've clasped the hands, switch. Roll the tops of the shoulders back for that stretch across your chest and collarbones. Stretch the hands down and then lift. I radiate the light of love wherever I go. And we need to be the peace, we need to be what we need to see in the world. If we go out looking for angry, horrible people, that's what we'll find. If we go out with a loving attitude, that's what we'll find. Then come up, bring the hands forward, lift onto your knees, tuck your toes under, then sit back to your heels. If you've got any toes a little bit sticky, that's not quite tucked under, then don't be afraid to free them. Just stretching out your feet here. Maybe do a little movement with your head and neck, and moving that around in whatever way feels good for you. Let's do a couple of our best horse impressions here. Breathe in through the nose. And blow through the lips again. In and out. Then come up onto your knees. We're going to come into camel pose. So we're going to open out through the front of the heart. Imagine lifting through the heart. So you're just going to bring your hands onto your waist, tuck your tailbone under, then push your hips forward, push your thighs forward, lift through your lower ribs, through your sternum, and press your elbows back like you've got to tie a drawstring on your elbows. Now you can lift the head back if that feels okay. I find it feels too much nowadays. I used to take my head back, but now it just doesn't feel good, so I tend to keep my head tucked in and just focus on the stretch of my body. As I say, I used to take my head right back, but I don't know, for some reason nowadays it just doesn't feel as good, so I focus more on the stretch and opening, breathing into your heart space and reconnecting with that energy of love. So once again, if you wish, you can bring to mind that person, that place, whoever it was, or something different, something that embodies love. So for example, the chicken that I've got at home that I've saved his life 3 times now. I took him out in the garden the other day because he needs to get used to outside, and he was scared because it's new, and he came running up to me and sat on my lap, and I just felt such love. It's like, oh, he feels safe with me, and that was beautiful. So I can think of that and feel that energy of love. And exhaling, calming down, coming back onto your hands and knees, untucking your toes. We're going to inhale forward into cat, then exhale, lift up and back, pull back into a child's pose. Then inhale, come forward. You can bend the elbows a little bit as you come, and again thinking of a circular around, almost like a water wheel shape. So inhaling forward, the bottom of the circle, exhaling up and around. Like a wave-like motion. The wave comes in and the wave rolls out again. No end, no beginning. There's one wave leading to the next. Some waves are smaller than others. Once more, in and out. This time as you sit back, tuck your toes under again, come back up onto your knees into like a toe squat, and just rub your hands, generate some heat. Again, bringing to mind that person, that place, that thing, whatever it is, or something else again that epitomizes love, that makes you feel that, ooh, that I felt on Sunday, that Visualize that. Then place your hands over your heart and visualize filling yourself up. So you have a love tank. You need to fill up with those moments to keep your heart full. When your heart is full, then you can generate that love and light out into the world. Bring your hands onto your waist again, coming back into camel pose. So tuck the tailbone under. Again, push the hips forward. Lift through your sternum. Lift and open through your heart space. So again, you're not leaning backwards. You're pushing forward and lifting up through your heart. Press the elbows back. Or you may want to clasp the hands instead. Squeeze the shoulders together. And stretch the arms down. Squeeze your butt. A couple of nice deep breaths here. Again, bring your head wherever feels good for you. It's a great energizer as well. Mood booster, mood uplifter, an energizer, camel pose. And then gently release. And tuck the toes. Now when you come to Yoga Mudra, now when you come forward, it's like you're coming into child's pose. So you literally bow forward with the forehead on the floor, with your bum still on the heels, so that when you lift up, you're on the crown of your head. So often I see people kind of like coming forward and trying to tuck the head under before they roll up. Literally just imagine, in fact, just try it here with your hands beside you, bow forward as if you're in a child's pose, and then just roll up, lift your hips, rolling up onto the top of your head, onto the crown of your head. So you're looking between your legs, between your thighs. Breathe here. And gently release and come back up. So when you come up, you're on the top of your head. You've not got the chin tucked in. So it is literally just bowing the forehead to the floor. So we're going to clasp the hands, roll the shoulders back, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Inhale, bow the forehead down to the floor and just stay here for a breath, squeezing those shoulder blades together. Stretch the hands away from you. Inhale again. As you exhale, start to lift your hips, roll onto the crown of the head, stretch the arms up to the ceiling, up and over. And breathe in, breathe out, lower back down. And inhale, come up. Bring the hands to the floor, tuck the toes under. And exhale, if you can, bring your hands to your heart. And hands to waist. Inhale, tuck the tailbone under. Exhale, drive forward into camel pose. You can clasp your hands if you wish, or keep the hands on the waist. Stretch the hands, lift and open through your heart space. Breathe in and out. Come back down. Inhale, try and bring yourself into a toe squat, balancing on the balls of the feet. Hands to heart if possible, or keep the hands on the floor. Breathe in and out. Then inhale, bring your fingertips down. We're going to exhale slowly. Straighten the legs, coming into Uttanasana, folding your body in half, opening up the backs of the legs, which should feel quite nice after that work on your hands and knees. Inhale, lift the heels, coming back into the toe squat. Exhale. And inhale, land your knees. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, untuck the toes. And exhale, sit back on your heels. Get the hands behind you, clasp the hands, however you've done it. Switch. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, stretch the hands down. Inhale, bow forward, forehead to the floor, stay here, exhale. And inhale, roll up onto the crown of the head, stretch the arms up and over, Yoga Mudra. Inhale, and exhale, lower back down. Inhale, come up. And tuck the toes under, exhale. Inhale, hands to heart if possible. Exhale, relax the shoulders. And then either hands to the waist or hands to the heels. Inhale, drive forward into camel pose. So you can take a previous option, or you can lift and open through the heart. Inhale and exhale, lower back down. And inhale, see if you can bring yourself into that toe squat. Exhale. Inhale. Fingertips down. Exhale slowly. Straighten the legs, looking down your nose towards the toes. Lifting your tailbone nice and high, stretching from tailbone to crown of head. Breathe in and breathe out. Lift the heels, coming back into the toe squat balance. Breathe in as you breathe out. See if you can land your knees to the floor. Inhale, tuck tailbone under. Exhale, lift up into camel pose. Maybe trying to keep your hands at your heart space and lift your heart into your hands. Exhale, lower down, tuck the toes, coming back to where we started. Last round. Clasp the hands, squeeze the shoulder blades. Breathe in, breathe out. Bow the head forward. Stay here. Inhale. Exhale. Roll up onto the crown of the head. Inhale. Exhale. Lower back down. Inhale up. And exhale. Coming into that toe squat. Either keep the hands here, clasp the hands, or hands to the hips. Inhale, or hips, heels rather. Inhale, lift and open. Lead with your heart. And exhale, lower back down. Breathe in and out. See if you can find your way into that toe squat. And inhale, hands down. Exhale, slowly straightening up. Folding in half. This time you're going to take a couple of breaths here. And give me another couple of horse impressions here. So breathing in through the nose. Out through the mouth. And once more in. And out. Inhale, lift those heels. Exhale, lower the knees. I'm going to come back down to where we started. So coming back down onto your belly, finding your way back into that crocodile pose. Hold on to opposite elbows. Take the feet mat width apart if possible. Feet turned out if that's not straining your knees. Relax your belly, relax your head, relax your gaze. Go back to that breath. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 6. And see how much you can relax here. Relaxing your head, letting it drop. Relax your jaw. And just noticing how you're feeling now compared to when we started. No judgment, no criticism. Imagine the energy of love circulating around every cell of your body. Imagine all your cells kind of smiling, feeling joyful and happy, peaceful. This is perfectly possible for everyone on earth to stay in a state of peace. Wars come from ego. It comes from, I want what you've got and I'm right and you're wrong. You know, it is perfectly possible for us all to live in a state of peace. There's more than enough for all of us. And we have to be that change. We have to be that change. Whatever our views, and our views should come really from our heart. You know, not from buying into what we're told in the news or what a friend says on Facebook, this, that and the other, but really feeling into your heart and really feeling into what feels true for you. You know, what really feels true for you. And if you don't know, just say you don't know. It's okay to say. I say it all the time. I don't know. I don't know the answers. I'm asking questions. I'm always asking questions. And if I don't get a satisfactory answer, I'll keep asking questions. And that's okay. But focus on what you want to attract. Focus on what you want to feel. Focus on what you want to experience. So if you want to be in a loving, joyful place, then focus on being loving and joyful. You can either stay here or you can untuck your feet. Rest one hand on top of the other and rest your forehead on your hands. And just becoming aware of your heart beating. In that steady rhythm, and also know as well that the heart does sometimes do little hops and jumps. It's not totally symmetrical. That's not the right word, but you know what I mean. So don't worry if when you're paying attention to your heart it might seem as if it adds an extra beat or anything like that, because we're electrical, you know, we're not machines. So every now and again it may sound a little bit kind of like drums are playing in there, but I want you to think of your heartbeat connecting with the earth's heartbeat. So the earth is a living, breathing planet. Hence why we get earthquakes and things, because the plates, the tectonic plates, expand and contract. You know, the tides ebbing and flowing. It's like the earth is breathing in and breathing out. You know, everything is, if we were to look at a really powerful microscope, everything is moving. Even things like rocks, you know, concrete is moving, is vibrating. You know, the earth is in a constant state of motion. So it's not a fixed thing. And it has a pulse, electromagnetic pulse, called the Schumann resonance. So you can imagine your heartbeat synchronizing with the pulse of the earth, really connecting to Mother Earth, our mother that gives us everything we need. We could not survive without Mother Earth. It gives us our nourishment, our warmth, our water, our food, everything we need. Mother Nature provides everything that we need. So you're feeling a sense of gratitude for Mother Nature, for Mother Earth, and a sense of gratitude for yourself. I radiate the light of love everywhere I go. And you can imagine doing what I sometimes do. I imagine throwing love bombs at people. I imagine like little grenades of love, of joyful, happy feelings, almost like water balloons kind of thing. And I just imagine, like, you know, chuck one at you, send one at you, send love to you. And, you know, just, and sometimes you will see people kind of like almost look at you, or they will soften and relax. They've felt it even if they don't quite know how or why. So be prepared to send out the energy, the vibration that you want to experience. So if we go out expecting everyone to be mean, to be horrible, for the world to be a dark, horrible place, that's what we'll experience. I spent a lot of time in London. In fact, when I was younger, I used to walk around a lot in different places in the middle of the night. Never was I attacked, because it wasn't in my reality. I never thought about that. I never went around thinking, oh my God, there's bad people around here. You know, I always saw the world as a safe, loving place. I know it's not that way for some people, but that's the thing. That's what we've got to think of. Why is it that some people experience, you know, darkness and not so good things, and other people don't? And it is literally what we focus on. That's not to say we deserve something, but you get what you focus on. So when we focus on being loving, and it starts with feeling love to and for ourselves, so feeling love within ourselves, feeling love for ourselves, and then that starts to radiate out into the world. So take another nice deep breath in. Let it go. And you can slowly push yourself up and back, maybe coming back into a child's pose, resting your forehead down, arms down. You can gently rock a little bit or sway a little bit side to side, stretching your spine out the other way. And slowly, when you're ready, curl yourself up to a sitting position. Take a nice deep breath in and out, and in and out. And take a little bow to seal your practice. Namaste. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I know it's hard, because I have spent so much time the last few years getting caught up in fear, in anger, in, you know, so many low vibration emotions. I've never had to work so hard to pull myself out. So I have to consciously focus on the things that make me smile. And sometimes it's the little things, but lots of little things. And really, any little thing that makes you smile, really absorb it. Don't just rush off to the next minute. So I was saying in the garden the other day, I really absorbed that feeling, you know, of love, the fact that Burrito came to me to feel safe, and I just felt so warm and so, and I really tried to soak that in, rather than go, oh, that's nice, right, what am I going to do next? And that's what we tend to do. We go, oh, that's nice, oh, da, da, da. So really anything that just makes you smile, that you just enjoy, whether it's a beautiful sunrise or a flower that's starting to open up. You know, I see the crocuses everywhere, the daffodils. Stop and take a few minutes and really absorb how it feels. How do you feel seeing those beautiful flowers? So I feel a sense of hopefulness, a sense of colour after what has been really dreary few months. You know, a sense of wonder that these beautiful flowers have appeared. You know, they've been dormant all this time. Now they've burst forth through the soil just to be beautiful, you know, and they're not comparing themselves with the flowers next to them. They're just being beautiful. It reminds you how tenacious and how resilient nature is, and that we are nature. So really try and take time to absorb things that make you smile and focus on why they make you feel that way. Why does it, you know, why are you grateful for it? Why do you enjoy that? Why, you know, feel it, really feel it with every fiber of your being, so we can start to go around, because if we're all going around pissed off, fearful, arguing with each other, you know, we're going to create that. It's like when you walk into a room and people have been arguing and you know, you're like, ooh, do I like this feeling? And that's what we're creating. So we need to work to bring the light, to be the light, and to, it's not to go, oh no, I'm not paying attention. It's paying attention to what you can control. And you cannot control what's happening miles away. You cannot control what politicians are doing or whatever. You cannot control that. What you can control is your energy, your emotions, and what you put out into the world. Blessings, namaste, mwah! So much love for you, to you. Be the love that you want to see in the world.